What's up, everybody? Another reaction video. We're looking at some killer husband realizes police found his wife's body. Damn. Let me guess. Middle Eastern. I don't know. I'm getting like Lebanese, Syrian, maybe. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see if this dude thinks he's in the Middle East.
Hello. Hi. How you doing, sir? Good. Have you seen heard from your neighbor?
No, not today.
A young mother didn't show up to work for 3 days.
At this point, we're getting a little more concerned about what's going on with Roa. Why she isn't here, why she isn't answering.
When officers knocked on her door, they noticed a smell, faint, sharp, and unsettling.
We could smell like a
they
sour
already
smell.
knew that scent. Yo, if you've been cop long enough and you walk there, yo, God forbid, bro, but that smell is crazy. But who called the cops, though? Was it the workplace or the neighbors? Because if they could smell it, the neighbors must smell it.
Like something that was like starting to rot.
The deeper detectives dug, the more confusing it got.
We knew we had most likely found her,
Oh, shit.
which was a relief to us.
So, let's look at that. I don't know
But
where
I was
that
aware
smell
that there
coming
was
from.
still
They dug for her. It looked like somewhere.
a lot of more work ahead of us.
At the center, a man named Fahad,
shit,
who
Fahad.
still
Damn, Fahad. You went out. Did she cheat on you? You couldn't take it? You couldn't just walk away? You couldn't just divorce her?
wanted control.
He told us the following day he was worried that she had returned to pick up their son. Trying to call her on her phone, there was no answer.
And then there was Hamza, the coworker who was more than a friend.
There's no relationship, zero, between me and her.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. This is some Middle Eastern drama. Yeah. You know the crazy shit is? In like Arab countries, if a wife is found that she's cheating, she gets locked up. And whoever she's cheating with, especially like if the husband. But yo, in some countries, there's crazy stories. I think it's about back in the days, maybe in the 80s, 90s, where like say a husband walks in on his wife and her side dude, yo, he could kill him right there and like, you know, do horrific things and he don't even get arrested for it. That's crazy.
I guarantee you on everything. There is absolutely zero.
And Amar, a friend who wasn't telling the full truth.
If we find out that she is harmed, the people responsible go to prison.
It would take hidden maps
So Amar, I'm guessing that's his boy, because what they said with Hamza, he was closer than a friend to her, like her coworker. I guess that's his boy that helped them get rid of the body and kill her.
and a jailhouse confession to uncover what really happened to Roa Al-Danoon. Welcome back to the channel. If this story made you pause, hit like to support more cases like Roa's that deserve to be told. Subscribe and turn on the bell. And if you believe justice
might be
matters,
Palestinian.
drop a comment with Roa's name to keep her memory alive. 24-year-old single mother Roa Al-Danoon had a routine. She showed up to work, she took care of her son, she kept to herself. So when she didn't show up for 3 days straight, her coworkers started to worry. They knew something was off. On October 19th, 2016, Lakewood police were called in to check on her. At 3 p.m., a patrol unit was sent to her apartment in the northeast side of town. A lot of people might assume that if someone hasn't shown up to work for 3 straight days, something bad must have happened. But the truth is, in most of those cases, especially when it's a coworker or boss filing the report, the person isn't actually missing.
They just don't
So
want to
when
show
the
up to
police
work.
get a report like that, they'll
wanna
definitely
quit.
look into it. They're usually expecting it to be a quick in and out case. The officer knocked on the door. No answer. But even before stepping inside, something didn't feel right. As they stood there talking, the detective caught a sharp smell coming from her unit.
Does it smell like something sour, maybe? Yeah.
That's when the officers started to brace themselves for the worst. A strong, foul smell was coming from the place they were checking during a welfare call. It wasn't a good sign, especially with someone who hadn't been seen in 3 days. One of them knocked again, hoping maybe someone would answer this time.
We could smell like a sour smell, like something that was like starting to rot. When you're doing a welfare check at someone's house and you have that smell, that's concerning. So you're a little more worried at this point that this is something more nefarious than just a general welfare check. It doesn't feel right. Something's not right here.
Still no response. There weren't any screams, no blood, and nothing that clearly screamed emergency. So the officers couldn't just bust in the door. Even with that foul smell and the fact that no one had seen her in days, they still had to follow the rules. If they forced their way in without solid legal grounds, it could be considered unlawful entry. But they also knew they couldn't wait much longer. It was time to get inside. So they called building maintenance and asked for the spare key.
So we called building maintenance. So while we're waiting for maintenance to let us in, we started knocking doors and spoke with her neighbor.
While waiting for maintenance to bring a spare key, the officer knocked on the neighbor's door. The neighbor answered the door.
Hello. Hi. How you doing?
He came out so casually, but like, damn, what the hell's going on in your place that you couldn't smell that badass smell coming right from next door? Now they're gonna question him like, why you didn't call and report your neighbor's house stinks?
Oh, sir. Have you seen her from your neighbor?
No,
He's joking, by the way. I know they're not gonna freaking say that, Chef.
not today.
When's the last time you saw her?
Haven't seen him in a couple of days. Haven't seen
Couple
him
of
in
days. How often do you usually see her?
Maybe once or twice a week.
The neighbor said he hadn't seen Roa in a few days, but that didn't really raise any alarms for him. She was the quiet type, friendly, sure, but kept to herself. While they were standing there talking, that same sharp smell was still drifting out from her apartment. The neighbor had already told them about her car earlier. Now it was time for the officers to go check exactly where it was. Her car wasn't there.
So after we checked the garage, her vehicle was not there. We went back up to the apartment and, waited for maintenance to arrive. At this point, we're getting a little more concerned about what's going on with Roa, why she isn't here, why she isn't answering.
A few minutes later, the maintenance guy showed up. He unlocked the door.
He's walking up like, oh my God, why? He was probably knocked out. He did not want to be there. He's got up like, oh, what the fuck? Why am I here? This was not part of my plan. But you doing a bad job by maintaining that building, because you should be there every day and you should have smelled that apartment.
And the officers made entry. The moment the door swung open, the officers didn't need to look far. The place told its own story. It was quiet, too quiet, and something about the room
Ain't no way that's just like from garbage and stuff. in the apartment for. Damn, what a shame.
made their skin crawl.
Liquid police. Anybody home? Liquid police.
They didn't know where Roa was, but it was clear someone hadn't just walked out of that apartment. Something had happened in there. Something that wouldn't stay hidden for long. Her bedroom was torn apart. Clothes, papers, and belongings tossed everywhere. It looked like someone had rushed through in a panic. But oddly enough, in her son's room, bags sat packed by the bed, like someone had planned to leave but never got the chance.
It looked like stuff had been like thrown there intentionally, like in a hurry. I mean, it didn't look like anything was packed in her room as opposed to her child, where there was a packed bag on the bed and a bunch of clothes on the bed. As you're looking at this, well, like, she's not here. Where's her child?
So, neither Roa.
I'm still trying to figure out where the hell did they get that bad smell. Is it just from like the cleanliness of the house? Because I don't see no blood or nothing like that. I don't think they killed her over there. But if they would have, I don't know. So you telling me somebody got her out of the apartment like forcefully? And they took her her husband.
Nor her son was inside, but the place clearly looked like someone had been packing. What didn't add up was if she really left with her son, then why were all the bags still sitting there? When they moved into the kitchen, the smell hit harder. A jug of milk sat out with a glass next to it.
Oh.
The sour smell was coming from this rotten jug of milk.
Okay.
There was
Damn, you leave milk 3 days, it stinks that bad? Because they made it seem like, you know, that dead body smell, that shit that like nobody could take. Now I understand where the neighbor didn't smell it. Is he probably in there?
There's also a pan of cooked chicken on the stove, completely dried out.
Oh, shit.
There was a jug of milk on the table with a glass of milk next to it. It looked like there was a meal prepared. There was a pan that was filled with chicken, and it was all dried out, and it was just still sitting out.
Yeah, chicken will do that. Yeah, sitting out for, I think even a day or two. That shit gets rotten so quick.
No one had touched the meal. It had just been left there to rot. The scene didn't feel random.
You know what I'm talking about when it comes to that Middle Eastern hookah? You always gotta have that in the spot. You always gotta have that in the house. She was probably a heavy duty on it. Heavy duty. I don't know I don't think they're gonna ever tell us where her background is from.
It felt like Roa
I would
and
like
her
to
son
know.
had been pulled out of
What
their
country you
home
from?
in the middle of everything. Even with the mess, nothing inside pointed to where they might have gone. No blood, no notes, no sign of forced entry. Roa Al-Danoon came to the U.S. in 2014 as a refugee from Iraq. She wasn't alone. Her husband, Fahad Muhammad Saeed, came with her. They first landed in California, but later moved to the Cleveland area. In the beginning, things seemed to be going well. Both of them were working on getting their residency status, but over time, their relationship started to crack. By September 2017, the two had divorced, and Roa was granted full custody of their California, but later moved to the Cleveland. Blood, no notes, no.
Sorry about that. That's why you can't be distracted with other things while you're doing this. My bad, but I gotta go back to this. I ain't got nothing. Ain't nobody looking at my videos as of yet. We ain't making nowhere. It's me, myself, and I. It's me, myself, and I.
Sign of forced entry. Roa Al-Danoon came to the U.S. in 2014 as a refugee from Iraq.
Iraq. What I was saying. Oh, shit. Iraq is different, too. Damn, he from Iraq, too? Yeah, they don't play when it comes to shit like that. I don't know what it is. They cheat. They cheat. Because them niggas can't handle it. They go... I was going to say some fucked up shit. I was like, they go in bomb mode.
Wasn't alone. Her husband, Fahad Muhammad Saeed, came with her. They first landed in California, but later moved to...
Yeah, what a... Okay. So they knew each other back home. They were married back home.
The Cleveland area. Okay. In the beginning, things seemed to be going well. Both of them were working on getting their residency status, but over time, their relationship started to crack. By September 2017, the two had divorced, and Roa was granted full custody of their young son. From that point on, Roa's whole world centered around her little boy. She started fresh, building a quiet life as a single mom and working at a local restaurant to support them. It was actually her co-workers from that same restaurant.
That's so fucked up. Y'all should put over there, ex-killer, ex-husband kills ex-wife. You see, that's what's so fucked up. Even like, yo, bro, you are divorced. You have no right or regulations. Nothing. There's nothing that you have to do with her. You don't own her. You're not gonna force her to do shit. She ain't even your wife. You got divorced. So what the fuck is up with this dude? That's crazy. Fuck out of here. If you didn't want her to get to know anyone else, yeah, that's some crazy shit. You jealous motherfucker.
Who ended up reporting her missing. Since her apartment hadn't turned up any solid answers, the officers decided to head back to her workplace and see if someone there could help fill in the blanks. They went to the Aladdin restaurant in Lakewood and spoke with her coworkers. Most of them were women, people who'd grown close to Roa over time. But one name stood out, Hamza. He wasn't just the only male friend in her close circle at work. Some coworker pointed to Hamza as the last person from work who had seen Roa before she disappeared.
During my interviews with Roa's coworkers, I learned that she had a friend by the name of Hamza Balil. They had been friends for approximately 4 or 5 months.
I don't know why.
At that point, I felt he was someone that I needed to reach out to immediately.
The detectives wanted to know more, so on October 22nd, 2016, they called him to the station. Hamza was concerned for his friend. The detective wanted...
The date must be wrong on that, because it said... Am I bugging?
4 or 5 months at that point, I felt he was someone that I needed to reach out to immediately.
The detectives wanted to know more, so on October 22nd, 2016, they called him to the station. Hamza was concerned for his friend. The detective...
It says they got divorced in 2017. So why are they interviewing him in 2016?
Wanted to know more about Hamza and Roa.
Anything new?
No, nothing yet. He was very comfortable. He did not seem nervous at all. So I immediately wanted to start getting some background information on Roa, as well as her relationship with Hamza. One of the first questions I asked was how they knew each other.
So I know a friend of mine, he owns a restaurant, and she works over there.
He told me that he had met Roa and they became friends. He would speak to her on occasion and they would just talk.
He reiterated that they were only friends.
From listening to this information, none of this appeared out of the ordinary to me at the time.
And, we kind of became friends. And she's married and everything.
But according to what Hamza told me, Roa was very worried about her ex-husband, Fahad.
Hamza said Roa got full custody of her son after the divorce, and the court had already put protection orders in place. Fahad wasn't allowed anywhere.
That's what I'm trying to understand. If he doing the interview with him in 2000, I guess even the dude got it wrong because the date is off. Maybe the camera was wrong. But if you're telling me they got divorced in 2017, so that recording was not from 2016. That's impossible. That don't make no sense. The timeline doesn't add up.
Where near her or the child, but that didn't stop him. He kept showing up, watching from a distance, following her around. Roa had told Hamza she still didn't feel safe, no matter what the court said on paper. He kept coming back.
When the first time we met, she was talking about times he comes in, because he's like, I have a lot of friends that comes in, like family friends, and sometimes he comes in, he just creeps and stuff like that.
I had asked him, when was the last time you had seen Roa or spoken to her? And it was surprising to me when he answered, it was Sunday, October 16th, which was the same night she was reported missing.
Hamza told them he'd last seen Roa on the night she disappeared, October 16th. They talked, relaxed, and smoked some hookah. But it wasn't a casual night, not really. Hamza remembered how on edge Roa had been, how she kept checking the hallway.
So then at 6:35, I told her that I have to leave. And I was going to leave. And then she wanted to check from the little thing by the door if he's there. Because sometimes, he gets in. And he was there.
What do you mean she checked? What did she check?
Like, there's a door and there's a little eye
peephole thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like I said, she's really afraid of it,
Okay.
Like, not afraid, but I would say, she doesn't want any problems with him, So then, and she was kind of all worried and stuff like that,
Roa had felt like a hunted woman, but what Hamza said next made the police realize they were no longer dealing with just a missing person. They were now dealing with a stalker.
And I was like, well, what do you mean to do? Like, if you want, I can leave. I don't care.
Right.
So like,
she looks out the people and
from the
he's in the hallway?
Yeah. He was in the hallway.
She could see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was there.
Well, what exactly did she say to you?
Okay, she was like, he was like, I don't care, you can wait, and and you can come in. But he said that, because, it's like, like I told you, the Arabic community, especially the Arab community, people talk about each other. Blah, 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 all mumbling. So, and, for a woman, if something, came up, there's a guy went over her house, or friends went over her house, and, and she's a woman.
That's a fact, too, because now, you see what he's explaining, he's kind of right, because it puts him in it puts her in a wrong picture, in a wrong figure to have another dude inside the crib. Well, her son might be there. You know what I'm saying? It kind of puts a bad taste, especially in the Arabic culture and how Arab men take it as oh, even though we're divorced, you know what I'm saying? It's you gotta get married to you gotta get remarried to somebody else for it to not look a certain way. But without that, it's you look like a thought in the Arab community. That's what he's trying to say.
And she's, been married and now she's, divorced. That's kind of a big deal for them. So then I told her, what am I to do? I can leave from the door.
Roa didn't want drama. She didn't want more problems. She just wanted to keep her life peaceful and her son safe.
So then she tells me, just get out of the back, and I was like, sure.
Hamza didn't think much of it at the time, just Roa being cautious. But now, with her missing, every detail started to matter. It didn't take long for the police to start putting things together. Fahad wasn't just an ex. This wasn't some clean, quiet breakup. Their split had gotten ugly. He'd threatened Roa. He'd hurt her. That's why the court had stepped in with a protection order, and he had already broken it. That violation was enough for the police to finally move in. On October 25th,
you're not in Iraq anymore, boy. You're gonna get... Oh, shit.
at 1 p.m.,
Give this nigga
2016, they headed to Fahad's workplace with a warrant in hand. Detectives informed the Human Resources that they were looking for Fahad.
Is there someone in your human resources department we can speak to? We need to talk to him.
Okay, which employee?
You're looking for Fahad Mohammed Saeed.
Come in, I'll have somebody pull him off the car.
Fahad was found working in the back room.
Hi. Detective Captain with Lakers Police. How are you? Speak English a little. Okay, all right, come on in here.
He appeared
Tried
pleasant
to
and
speak.
in good mood. Fahad didn't fight. He didn't even look surprised.
We're going to arrest you. You violated your temporary protection order. Yes. So you're under arrest. Okay? Do you have any weapons, anything sharp, knives? No.
The arrest itself went quietly. He didn't question it. His hands stayed
Look at that
still.
smirk.
His
You trying to
eyes
play
didn't
it off.
flicker.
Yo.
It felt like he was prepared for
Just
it.
trying to use that.
At the station, Fahad was informed why he was arrested and also that now Roa is missing.
I explained to Fahad the reason why he was arrested and explained to him that I was also working on a report regarding Roa being missing. He appeared very relaxed, willing to speak with us, and I did not find anything at that time, any of his body language, to be unusual to me.
There was no panic in his voice. He spoke in Arabic, so everything had to be carefully translated. But even through the language barrier, one detail stood out. He said Roa had come to his house.
Could you tell me the last time that you saw your ex-wife?
Do you know what day in particular?
16. جتني على البيت. She came to my house.
Why did she come to your house?
She dropped off.
Did she tell you where she was going?
She was going to Michigan, to Detroit.
حفلة كانت.
Function, like a party.
قالت لي ثاني يوم أنا جاية.
And she said that she would be right back the following day.
According to him, it was the night of October 16th, around 11 p.m., when Roa dropped off their son at his house, but she never came back. He tried calling her. He sent her messages. He got no response. That's when he said he started to worry.
That's his lie. That's his alibi that he's trying to make up for. Because he knows he has his son with him. I'm pretty sure he didn't have his son. Because you know what's crazy? In the end, he ain't on no drugs or nothing like crazy. He's all there mentally, but it's like the culture itself and the way how, like, him growing up there and probably like how Iraq is, you know, it's very different. Like every country, every Arabic country is different, but when you look at Iraq, there's certain, like, you know, certain structures that they follow with, and it's like they don't play like you know, there's certain limits and regulate. Like they not just gonna have their allow their women to just be thoughts just like that. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, he probably, the reason why he's so calm and shit like that, he feels like he didn't do nothing wrong. Like even in the end of the day, he killed his ex-wife. Inside, he feels like he didn't do anything wrong, and that's freaking crazy, stupid, and ridiculous. Cause, and that's wrong in every type of religion, in every type of aspect. Who are you to take somebody's life? But I feel like that's why he's calm and like smiling and like yeah. He ain't, cause in his mind he ain't do nothing wrong. Like, oh bitch, you did that like, it's crazy.
He told us the following day he was worried that she hadn't returned to pick up their son. Trying to call her on her phone, there was no answer.
None of it added up. Why would Roa drop off her child with someone she feared? Why would she go to a party out of state, leaving no trace? He wasn't supposed to be around her son at all. The protection order made that very clear.
He was aware he was violating the temporary protection order issued by our court. He was prohibited from having her son in his presence. It just didn't really make a lot of sense to us.
Yeah, you gotta be fucked up to have your son really taken away from you, bro. You must have. She had evidence against you beating her, and like shit. Like, yo, that's crazy. And he been locked up before. And he probably think American jail is sweet. I don't know how Iraq jail is, but I'm betting it's worse.
Fahad was now officially the last person known to have seen Roa alive. The police had enough to hold him. He was booked into the Cuyahoga County Jail, but despite locking him up, it didn't feel like progress because Roa was still missing. The search wasn't over, not even close. Something didn't sit right. If Roa had vanished after leaving Fahad's house, why had her own apartment looked like the center of a storm? Her bedroom had been torn apart, her dinner was untouched, her son's bags are packed. It felt like everything had started inside her home, not outside of it. So the detectives went back, a second sweep. And it was in this second sweep that the detectives found something they had missed before, the hookah. Hamza had told them he and Roa were smoking hookah that night, but detectives noticed something strange. The hookah was broken. The hose was gone. A few small parts were found tossed in the kitchen trash.
And this hookah was missing some pieces. A couple small pieces were located in the kitchen garbage can, and it was missing its hose. We didn't know at the time if this missing hose could potentially be a very crucial piece of evidence that we need. During our interview with Hamza, he tells us he and Roa were smoking hookah in her apartment.
But the device couldn't have worked the way Hamza described it. That little crack in his story gave the officers reason to bring him back in. They needed answers.
So, you say that you went there to smoke hookah?
Yeah.
Did you bring a hookah?
She has her own hookah.
Okay, and describe it to me.
It's a two-piece. Like a bowl, and then it goes a metal piece, and then it goes the head. And then it goes a hose.
So, the hose?
Yeah.
We've been to her apartment. I found the hookah, but I didn't find the hose. And I didn't find a mouthpiece. So I'm just trying to figure this out.
Hamza looked confused. He had no explanation. Detectives knew Hamza was hiding something. Were he and Roa more than just friends?
For somebody who's 22 to say, I went to the house to chill, smoke hookah, that to me means you're probably over there
banging.
For a relationship.
Okay. There's no relationship, zero, between me and her. I guarantee you on everything. There is absolutely zero. And, I do have a girlfriend, and we're getting married.
He insisted he had a girlfriend. They were engaged.
So, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Is the concern that word of you being there would get out to your girlfriend?
I mean, I don't care as long as you guys find her. But at the same time, I care about my reputation.
That part clearly rattled him. He didn't want his name getting dragged through the mud. That's when the detective saw his chance. He told him if he really wanted to clear his name, the best way was to take a polygraph test. And he agreed.
Did you assist in Roa's disappearance?
No.
Are you now located within the state of Ohio?
Yes.
Have you ever committed a traffic offense? No. Are you certain you had nothing to do with Roa's disappearance?
Yes.
He passed. His story had cracks, yes, but not enough to tie him to Roa's disappearance. For now, he was off the hook. But they still didn't have Roa, and time was running out. With Fahad behind bars and
There, I don't know. It could be. There's a 50-50 chance that they were fucking. Smoking some hookah and fucking. Maybe. We don't know. There could be a chance that they weren't. They were just friends. Possibility.
Roa still missing. The case had hit.
But you know what they say, man. You know what they say, bro. Don't do it to yourself.
A wall. That's when the detectives decided to try a different angle. They went back to the basics. Phone records. Fahad's phone showed a call made during the exact time window Roa had vanished.
When we began to look at Fahad's phone, there was a phone number that he had contacted right around the time of Roa's disappearance. We had a witness that placed Fahad near the apartment, and then we had a cell phone number of a person, yet unknown, who he was communicating with.
His name was Amar Sami, a friend of Fahad's, and when they checked Amar's phone, location data from that night, they found something chilling. He had been right outside Fahad's apartment. That changed everything. On November 19th, Amar was brought to the Lakewood Police Department. He didn't seem nervous, said he was ready to help. Detectives got straight to the point. What had he and Fahad been doing on the night of October 16th?
The day I'm focusing on is the 16th of October, the day that you were at work.
9:30 he left the work. Before that, Fahad called him. 7:30. Around 7:30 called. Yeah, he said, I'm here and I'm gonna be home about 10 o'clock. I went to his house, close to his house, and like in the street, I called him and he came down. They went to like a convenience store to bring some cigarettes.
Amar said that the two part ways, and Amar said that he went to Walmart. He claimed not to know where Roa was.
Amar said it was nothing serious. They'd met up, stood outside, and smoked some cigarettes. Then he claimed he dropped Fahad off at home and went to Walmart by himself. He had said he had no idea where Roa was, but the detectives weren't convinced. The timing was too perfect. The phone calls, the location data, it all placed Amar right in the middle of everything.
If we find out that she is harmed, the people responsible will go to prison. If people are not citizens, it could be subject to deportation.
There's no problems. I'm really ready to help with anything.
And it doesn't mean deportation with you and your wife. That means you deportation. Wife stays here.
I'm ready for anything if I'm involved.
I'm ready for anything, but what I really would like to have is the truth.
But Amar stuck to his story. He didn't flinch. They couldn't hold him any longer and had to let him go. Remember, Amar had told the detectives he went to Walmart after meeting up with Fahad.
He indicated to us that when he dropped Fahad off at the apartment...
Dumbass. You're gonna go check the Walmart cameras and see if you were really there, you dummy. You're supposed to say I went home. Or some other spot. That nobody could go find a camera, that you're there.
He had gone to Walmart by himself.
Just to be sure he wasn't bending the truth, the officers pulled the security footage. And sure enough, like clockwork, his car rolled into the Walmart lot. So far, so good.
Okay, my bad. I fucked up. He did go to Walmart. But let's see what happened in Walmart.
Good. But then something changed. The passenger door opened, and out stepped Fahad. They weren't apart like he claimed. They were together. That was the first lie.
We observe Amir Sami's vehicle pull into the parking lot and park. At that point, we do observe two people exit his vehicle. We now switch our attention to the door entrance camera.
Don't tell me. I think I seen it earlier when it came. Oh, don't tell me these dumbasses went to Walmart to buy like shovel and shit. Oh my God.
Walmart.
Shit is crazy.
At that time, we did see both him and Amir Sami, him being Fahad, enter the Walmart.
The footage from inside the store showed both men entering through the front door, walking toward the hardware section. There, on camera, Fahad reached for a 6-foot digging shovel.
And at that point, we observed Fahad remove a 6-foot digging shovel from the rack.
Damn, son.
And
That's
both him and Amir Sami then proceeded to the checkout registers.
Fuck. Yo. Bro, I don't give a fuck. Sorry, but it's crazy how niggas would take you down with them and you think like, yo, that's fucked up. Because at the end of the day, your boy did some fucked up shit. You were actually fucking supposed to call the cops. Not fucking go help him. Not go fucking, like, you, as soon as you would have found out, if he called you and you pulled up and you heard whatever he said, you're like, cool, I got you, boom, boom. Because, you know, you don't want him to go ballistics and, like, try to kill you. But in the end of the day, you step aside, you do your thing. You're like, yo, I got to go do something real quick. I'm going to be right back. Just, you know what I'm saying? Hold it down for now. I'm going to be right back. Oh, you could have been like, yo, let me go run over there, get what we need. Boom, boom. And come back. And then call the fucking cops. You go help him. Now you're fucked.
Amar
and I don't, yo, deporting these niggas back to the country, it is like, you know what I'm saying? It is some kind of punishment. That is a fact. There is, but it's not like time in jail is better. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think they're going to go to Iraq and then serve jail in Iraq. You know what I'm saying? But shit, fuck that.
Car stood right beside him. Both men proceeded to the checkout, bought the shovel, and left.
It indicated to us that
damn, is there timing on this? I was about to say, like, what time?
Amar was not truthful with us, that he had lied to us. He certainly knew something, and we felt by bringing him in a second time, our hopes were that he would confess to it.
Not only had Amar lied about being alone, he was now tied directly to a suspicious purchase made right after Roa went missing. He was now physically present at a key moment, when Fahad bought the very thing that could be used to bury a body. That flipped the script. So they brought Amar
He gonna
back.
snitch. You know, in the end of the day, he gonna snitch. He gonna give up real quick. Like, you can tell by his demeanor. Yo, my man's gonna say everything right now. That's it. And they already got homeboy locked up. So all they need is the evidence, and then they need to go find the body. And that's fucked up, man. Man, that shit is crazy, bro. She lost like 24 years old, man. How about that kid, man? Damn, shit, damn. That shit. That's fucked up. That's what jealousy can lead you.
Back in.
As part of our investigation, we went to Walmart. When we watched this video, we saw something very interesting. What do you think we saw?
This time, faced with video proof, Amar didn't lash out or confess. Instead, he tried to play it off.
I've had a lot of surgeries and I take a lot of sedatives. I may have forgotten something. Before I sat down with you last time, I told you I have problems and I take medications. I may have forgotten something. I have no problem. Help you any way I can.
Why couldn't you remember these new details before?
It depends on the question. But it's probably it's not on purpose. I told you everything.
But the detectives weren't buying it.
You definitely lying, bro. trying to make himself. And I bet you he ain't taking no medication, nothing. Probably knows a fucking crooked doctor is gonna get like you know what I'm saying? This is probably something he heard from one of his boys or something. Yo, like try to play your you take medications and you keep forget. Like, bro, you're not 70 years old. Fuck out of here.
It was a deliberate lie. And now Ammar had interfered in an active missing person case.
Ammar Sami claims that he misunderstood the questions, that he was forgetful, that he's having trouble remembering what date he was asked about. He was still claiming to be innocent and have no involvement in this.
That was enough to get a warrant. They arrested him on the spot for obstructing justice.
But since Ammar Sami had lied to us, a warrant was obtained for him for obstructing justice and obstructing official business. We could now prove that, and he was placed under arrest.
With both Ammar and Fahad sitting behind bars, it seemed like the investigation might finally turn a corner, but it didn't.
Now at this point, we have Fahad locked up in our county jail for 6 months. We have Ammar Sami charged with obstructing official business and obstructing justice. But we're no closer to finding Roa at this point.
All leads dried up, and the case
Damn, 6 months. Shit. That's crazy, bro.
Almost went cold. Just when the case had stalled and the clock was ticking, something unexpected came through. A phone call that would turn the tide.
Michael Police and Fire.
Hi, yes, I have information about a missing person.
Okay.
Her name is Roa. It's Roaa.
Uh-huh. Right.
I don't know how to say her last name. But
I know who you're talking about, though.
After months of silence, someone was finally ready to talk. Her boyfriend was Fahad's cellmate, and he had something to share with the authorities. And then she said something that made the detectives freeze.
It's on Friday after work. My boyfriend called me and said he didn't tell me what was said, and like his wife is missing. What's that about? And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, well, that's weird. He's like, yeah. So then when he told me on Friday, because he's like, I'm getting a little nervous, this guy's getting paranoid or something like that. And I was like, okay. So I don't know, but I just wanted to tell you guys, whatever information you need to know.
Her boyfriend also spoke Arabic, so Fahad told him crucial details about Roa's missing.
This boyfriend of hers also spoke Arabic, so he was able to communicate with Fahad in the jail. And during their times together, he had learned some information about Roa's disappearance, and he wanted to speak with us.
Arab snitch. Look, it depends on where you grew up from and shit like that. But like Arab snitch, bro, they don't give a fuck. Like they really tell. Like, especially in the countryside, if there's some shit going on, they will snitch. Like, and there's not like the kind of like rules and regulations and shit that's out here in the States. You know what I'm saying? Like you're ashamed. You know what I'm saying? But they don't give a fuck. They'll say exactly what's going on, and that's how a lot of crimes in third world countries, and especially Arab countries, get figured out, because majority of people snitch on each other, and especially if they just gotta find the right dot, because it's a whole different tactics over there. They still like beat nigga. They will still beat a nigga up like, yo, till those words come out of your mouth.
An inmate locked up with Fahad was ready to talk. He didn't just bring a story. He brought a hand-drawn map. A buried secret finally had coordinates.
My
Damn.
partner and I went to the county jail.
Wait, he drew the map or Fahad drew the map? What the fuck? Why would he give him the map? Why would he
pick
draw
this
on the map?
inmate up?
That's why you need to shut the fuck up. That's why you need to shut the fuck up. See, that's, you know, it's crazy, and that's what's kind of like in the end of the day, he snitched on himself. Why are you telling somebody you don't know your business?
And then he told me he has a map drawn, allegedly by Fahad.
What is this right here?
First, you want me to tell you why he drew that? He wanted me to move my body.
You want
Where Fahad had.
what the? Nigga thinks he's in a movie. He's like in those Arabic movies, like, you know, those Egyptian movies. Nigga said, go move the body. You dumb fuck.
Buried Roa.
These maps indicated the place where Roa was buried. The inmate said Fahad thought he'd made a friend behind bars, and that's when he started talking.
This new information was very exciting for us, but we did not want to get too far ahead of ourselves at this.
You see? He snitched on himself. They didn't have no information. It was like, they didn't have no physical evidence except the fact that they caught him in Walmart buying a shovel, right? But physically, they didn't find no blood or nothing like that. They didn't have nothing else. They didn't have no real physical evidence that he did something to her. And they couldn't find her. And nobody reported the body. But he buried her and snitched on himself. You a dumb motherfucker.
This point yet.
He opened up about October 16th. He told him everything, how he let himself into Roa's apartment using his key, how he crept down the hall and noticed her bedroom door was open just a crack.
Allegedly, Fahad explained to this inmate he had come to Roa's apartment on October 16th and had gotten into her building. He stated he keyed himself into her apartment.
Are you an RN exhausted from long hours and disheartened by seeing your patients in the hospital again and again? Then listen up, because in the next 30 seconds, I'll show you how thousands of nurses have stepped.
Fahad had looked down the hallway and noticed Roa's bedroom door open.
Inside, he saw her having relations with Hamza.
He was smashing. Wait, so Hamza turned out to be a liar too. But how the fuck he got away? What?
Fahad didn't say a word at that moment. Instead, he quietly pulled out his phone and hit record.
And he approached that door, and when he looked inside her bedroom, he observed Roa having relations with Hamza. He did not make any sounds. He claims that he made a brief recording of the two of them in her bed, and I think that would be enough to anger him to a point where he could cause her some harm.
Fahad didn't go into much detail after that, but he did admit one thing. He buried Roa somewhere far, somewhere hidden, a place he was sure the detectives would never find. On May 15th, 2017, officers and agents from the FBI's Evidence Response Team gathered at the site marked on the crude map. After hours of searching, one of the FBI supervisors took a shovel and struck something just beneath the surface.
Several hours had gone by of us looking around. The supervisor of the FBI's Evidence Response Team decided to grab a shovel, and he had dug maybe a 12-inch deep hole, and he said, "What's that?"
He paused, leaned down, and brushed away the dirt. It was a zipper, canvas, and not long after came the unmistakable smell of death.
and you ended up seeing the corner of a zipper to a felt like it was a canvas bag. We began digging a little bit more around this area and started to smell decomposition, and we knew that this was the spot.
They didn't need confirmation. They knew it was her. They'd finally found Roa.
We knew we had most likely found her, which was a relief to us. But I was aware that there was still a lot of more work ahead of us.
It was now time to press Fahad for a confession.
You were very angry when you saw her in bed with this other guy.
Then, if I wanted to, I would have killed the two of them.
Right. But he was gone when you went back up to her apartment. It seems more convenient to me that you would go back up to her apartment once that guy is gone and confront her there regarding what you had seen, since you were right there.
He saw Roa in bed with someone else. Fahad waited until the other man was gone, then returned to confront Roa.
You didn't...
What a pussy. Fuck out of here, nigga. You a pussy. You afraid that other nigga was gonna knock you the fuck out? Or maybe he had a gun and he would have blasted you? You pussy. Waited till she was alone? The fuck? That's what you know. Some people are fucked up in the head. What made you even take out your phone and start recording? For what? You're divorced. What the fuck is that gonna do to you? I understand where she fucked up because she ain't married. You know what I'm saying? Especially if she considers herself Muslim. But you got no fucking right over her, bro. She's your ex-wife.
You didn't have time to leave. You went back up to her apartment after that guy left, and you confronted Roa in her apartment about what you saw.
Remember how the inmate said Fahad claimed he recorded what he saw? Well, the detectives dug through everything. Phones, drives, accounts, anything tied to Fahad. But that video, it never turned up. There was no proof that Fahad had actually recorded.
That's what he... You see what I'm saying, bro? Because in the end of the day, that's what he thought. Of course, you're going to think that if you know another dude is in your ex-wife's apartment, that's the first thing that's going to pop in your mind, is that he's smashing. But in reality, he probably never really caught him. I'm trying to... he said he
recorded anything at all. That video...
Hamza said he went out through the back door and he was in the hallway.
Well, most likely a lie.
There was no evidence that he actually recorded the event at all. We believe it was just a ploy. I think the reason he had told Roa that he had videotape was that it would save his image in the community.
Just a way to protect his own ego and reputation, especially among the local community. During the interview, Fahad painted a very different picture, one where Roa willingly returned to his apartment with their child. He claimed they reconciled, shared a night together, and talked about starting fresh. But in the quiet hours of the night, something set him off. He said he couldn't sleep.
So during their interview with Fahad, he had indicated that Roa wanted to reconcile, that she came back with him to his apartment. They had relations. Their child was there, that they were going to get back together. It was at that point, sometime in the middle of the night, Fahad claims that he was restless. He wasn't sleeping.
He heard movement in the kitchen. According to him, Roa was standing there. He claimed she had a knife. He said she thought he was asleep, but he was watching her.
I'm looking at her. She's coming my way.
This mother... This piece of shit thinks y'all detectives are dummies. He thinks y'all fucking dumb. Making up this fucking bullshit ass lie.
She thinks I'm sleeping, but wide awake and I'm watching her come towards me.
He said he panicked, jumped out of the bed, tried to grab the knife. He got behind her and began choking her. And in that moment, he knew she was gone.
He jumps out of bed. He attempts to disarm her of the knife. And in doing so, he gets behind her and begins to choke her. At some point, she becomes unconscious and falls to the floor.
And then he went back to pretending none of it had happened. As the detectives dug in for more details, the horror of what really happened came to light.
I know that she's dead. I put her in a bag. So I ended up putting the bag in her car, took the shovel, took her to the park. I dug up a hole for about 2 hours, buried her.
Fahad had not only killed Roa in cold blood, he'd buried her right in front of their young son. That boy, barely old enough to understand what he was seeing, had witnessed a moment no child should ever carry.
That's fucked up. That's some fucking creep shit. That's fucked up, bro. How you do that to your kid? Man, how the hell? Oh my god, yo.
The trauma didn't just belong to Roa. It was stitched into the memory of her son, too. It took over a year of chasing dead ends, confronting liars, and digging, literally and emotionally, through the wreckage of a broken family. But in the end, justice finally caught up with Fahad Muhammad Saeed. On January 18, 2018, Fahad pled guilty to the involuntary manslaughter of Roa Al-Danoon. Alongside that, he faced charges of kidnapping and burglary. The court handed him a 25-year prison sentence, but there was more. After serving his time, he would be deported back to Iraq, the same country he and Roa had once fled together in search of safety. And Fahad hadn't acted alone. His friend Amar Sami, who had tried to play innocent, was exposed for his role in covering up the crime. From helping buy the shovel to lying during police interviews, his actions weren't just careless, they were criminal. He was convicted for aiding Fahad and obstructing the investigation. For that, he was sentenced to 18 months behind bars. Roa's story was one of survival, strength, and stolen freedom.
W. I like the fact that he said that he has to serve 25 years, then they'll deport him. But still, it's better than him getting out, out here, of course, after 25 years. Because he's going to have a hard time living out there 25 years later when he's in his 60s, 70s. Somebody with nothing. Than out here, of course. But what I also say, he deserves to be in there for the rest of his life. He should die in prison. Somebody should really get him. But you know what I'm saying? This is just another video. The other dude seemed like, you know what I'm saying? He took it on the chin, so so the other dude got off a little light. But still, you stupid motherfucker. You just wasted almost 2 years of your life for some stupid ass decision. Going to Walmart with the wrong person. And you should have snitched on him, you dummy. Later, y'all. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.